Italian, right? Yeah. We used to live in Open Gardens and we went there. I remember that place. I was trying my one time. My friend and I was small place, right? Small Italian one. That was like getting way out of my
Hi, everybody.
Okay.
Hi.
This is Victoria Vox. I'm Sam Gallant. And thank you all for being here at Waverly Brewing Company. This is a special treat, and I'm so glad there's so many people here to welcome Victoria Vox back, well, to one of her homes, one of her many homes of Baltimore, Maryland. And, you know, I do this a lot, and often I write notes and write questions for myself, and I'm kind of mean usually when I do this, but like I guess I'm realizing that about myself. But when I was like writing notes for Victoria, I'm like, oh, I'm a fan, is what I realized. The first time I saw you was like 12 years ago, maybe 2006, 2007 at the Creative Alliance, and I saw you probably, I don't know, another dozen times after that. I'm putting myself into this, I'm sorry about that, but I just realized that I'm a fan. You know, I guess I've always known it, but I'm sort of coming to the realization that I'm a fan of Victoria Vox. And I know you all are too, right?
I actually like it.
So you moved to Southern California a couple years ago. I don't know if everybody knows that, but now Baltimore is not, it's in the past a little bit. But do you miss us?
Of course. That's why I keep
right
coming
answer.
back all the time.
And you're back a lot, and we appreciate
Yes.
that. So now that you're in LA, you're closer to Hawaii?
Slightly, yeah.
Yeah, a lot closer. Have you been?
I've been a few times, although the last time was in 2011. So that was coming from here. So
Oh, you haven't been since you've moved?
no.
Oh, well, I mean, it's just a hop. It's
I
like,
know.
it's right there. Is your ukulele, are any of them from Hawaii?
So I started playing ukulele in 2003, and then in 2005 I got sponsored by a Hawaiian ukulele company.
I'm sorry, do I have to say it like that?
No.
Okay, good. Because I'm not going to.
Only because they're a Hawaiian ukulele company versus the American ukulele companies. And so I played a Hawaiian, I called it a ukulele still, for 6 years, and then I went non-exclusive for another 6 years or so, and then I just recently started playing my new Kala ukulele, so I have a sponsorship with them.
That's a great brand. I mean, that they're kind of everywhere.
They're
now.
kind of like the biggest company as far as mass-produced ukuleles. Most the ones that you'd find in a normal music store are made in China, but they're really great beginner ukuleles. Even like a $500 Kala is great. It's a great instrument.
Are you going to design your own for them?
Well, this is a custom.
Okay.
Yeah. So this one has
And could people maybe, is this the Victoria Vox brand ukulele that someone could buy at Guitar
I don't have a signature
Center?
model yet.
Oh, that's the signature model.
Yeah, but this one, so it's a custom. So I basically picked everything down from the wood, the cutaway. This one has the inlay and says the Vox with a soundbite image, which
I want a picture of that actually.
I spoke into my phone. We're from the same dirt in this universe, and that was the soundbite that we designed for the neck from the song "Same Dirt."
That's really cool.
And so this has been my new uke, and but I think most of the ukes I have been custom made, and I've been just very fortunate to. People keep giving me ukuleles.
So I have a friend who's a tugboat operator, and I love that song. And I was like, I found it on Spotify. I'm sure you can find it too for free out there. But where can people find it if they want to buy it?
Well, I have it on. I have
Excellent.
one vinyl record left.
Okay.
Here tonight, and then I've got my CD, which has a special die-cut album cover thing that's really cool.
So has anyone ever owned any of her music on like hard copy of Victoria's music? Yeah, give it a hand. I'm a fan. I've realized, I've always known it, but now I'm like coming to realize it now that I'm speaking with you on stage, that I'm a big fan of Victoria Vox and her music. Not only of the music, but also of the craft of your hard tactile. The CD or the LP, the vinyl, they're always fun to look at. You had that album, this one, The Colorful Heart, has the die cut sort of inlay, and you can change the color of through the die cut. But Exact Change in 2010 was the first album that I held of yours that I was like, whoa, because it had. Does anybody know that album? Yeah. It has like the laundry machine, right? Mm-hmm. And you can there's water in it. You can play with it. It's amazing.
It's like a snow globe inside of a
it's
CD.
Awesome. So anyway, so I just want to say I appreciate that. Is that something? Obviously, it's very conscious of you to make this. Because in this day and age, the internet age, people don't even put out albums. You're still putting out nice albums.
Yeah, I feel like if I'm gonna go through the trouble, I might as well make something that's worth having, or if someone's into the music. I've always enjoyed being able to read lyrics. Sometimes it's like Benny and the Jets, like electric boobs.
Right.
Like, that's not what they're saying.
That's what he's saying.
So I enjoy. I guess I have a degree in songwriting, and I think the lyric writing was half of the songwriting major. It was lyric writing and then songwriting, and then there was advanced songwriting where you put the two together as you have harmony and melody and lyrics. And so getting to read the lyrics along and see the rhyming structure, maybe what was intended, can be really a cool thing. So I like to include that, and I as a purchaser of original music, sometimes I'm always disappointed. It's like, well, I paid $15 for like a sleeve, and I'm just like, well, yeah, it's cool you get the CD, and you're not just buying the disc. You're paying for the years of touring and experience and songwriting, and everything that goes into it. But I just figured make something that's different and.
Well, here to that, and if you like an artist, buy their music, hard copies or digital as well. But yes, I always encourage people to buy music.
So I'm going to cue one more on top of that, is that with MP3s is great. You can fit like 1 million of them in your phone or your back pocket, but it's very compressed. And as a musician, we go through the trouble of the studio time, the mixing, the mastering, the picking the order of songs.
Sequencing.
Yes. I think about it for weeks. And, when you go on the shuffle, it's like all that is lost. But also, a wave file on a disc, a well-mastered disc, is going to sound so much better. You just put headphones on, and you'll just be like, wow. So nothing can, as far as right now, like CD is the best format and will be until something better comes along that sounds just as good and is as portable.
I second that emotion. So now that you're in Southern California, the weather's better. Are you busking at all?
No.
You don't go out like on the beach, on the boardwalk, and like put the ukulele case down and
no.
strum a few songs for anybody?
No.
Oh, okay. You're above that. All right.
No.
So touring must be a lot different out west because here on the East Coast you can hit Baltimore, Philly, New York, Boston, all within 4 days. DC. No, let's skip DC. They skip us. But so I imagine that your touring and your playing out west has changed a little bit.
Yeah, it's also probably changed touring out here as well now that I'm not local. I think having been a homeowner, you kind of you do the shows, you get hired for gigs in the area, but then it's not like a tour where I don't have to keep going down the coast because I have to. Or I'm like, well, I'm that far, I might as well go to the next city or the next town. So you kind of retreat to home right here. So I find that the time that I'm out here now, I'm kind of doing more and getting to hit up Boston more often than I did before. But touring out west, I used to hate driving just because I did it so much, driving across country. And then out here it was like, awesome, there's Amtrak and take the Bolt bus. And now I'm back to a lot of driving. Some train.
So it definitely has changed a little bit.
Yeah.
So what you do on stage, you don't do in the studio. You've got musicians with you in the studio, but you're a one-woman band here on stage and when you're touring. who are some of your looping inspirations?
Probably one of my first inspirations ever as a kid when I was like, just a young kid. Well, Cyndi Lauper, but she didn't loop. But Laurie Anderson is like my number one. I don't know if you're familiar with her music at all, but she was married to Lou Reed. But my mom would take me to her gigs when I was like 12, and I would see her doing things with electronics and looping and sticking computer microphones in her mouth, and just loved her. So like Colorful Heart, the way that I perform it live and even on the record is really kind of tipping a hat to Laurie Anderson. And there's kind of the cellos that kind of go throughout, a very tonic kind of, they just non-stop, same notes the whole way through. And but yeah, so Laurie Anderson probably is hands down the first one that I think of.
And looping artists, I feel like, are gaining in popularity. Do you think it's the sort of the light packing? That you don't have to tour with a band.
A lot cheaper.
I mean, it's a lot cheaper in that regard. I mean, but people like Ed Sheeran have sort of, almost popularized the art of looping, or tune yards and
and Merrill Garbus is another one
right.
who's does a lot of cool stuff with the looping and rhythms and drums and the ukulele
and then like people are getting internet famous doing it as well. This guy Mark Rebele, has anybody seen this guy out there? Anyways, but you should get internet famous. All right, if you can, you just keep doing what you're doing.
And also in that, well, she now lives in Irvine, California, but Angela Sheik, who was in Wilmington, Delaware, she just moved out west, and she does. She was like a world champion for Boss looping loop station, and she's she plays flute and piano and sings and does a really amazing job of constructing a song using the loop pedal that isn't just like layering and layering and layering, and all of a sudden it's like you're jamming out with yourself for 10 minutes, but the song hasn't gone anywhere. So I try to use it very minimally, and using it as a texture in songs.
To me, it's one of the most impressive things in music to see this happen in whatever form it takes. One final question: can you give any amateur, novice people like me tips on mouth trumpeting?
Yeah.
And what do you call it? Is it mumpet?
I call it mouth trumpet.
Oh, okay.
Some people call it a lipsophone, mouth horn. It is singing, so it is a movement of air, but you're not just blowing like you would in a real trumpet, but that every note has to be separated by a retonguing, like saying just the letter D. D, 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 D. So you could do like a trumpet doesn't have a glissando slide like a trombone. So you have to separate every note that is played, whether it's through one single breath.
Well, you just did a trombone, though.
You can.
Oh, okay.
But I personally strive to do more trumpet, and that there's a separation between the notes. It's harder. You can still on a trumpet get some slides, but basically you guys want to try?
Yeah, let's try.
So
Ready?
We're just going to start with saying, we're just going to go do. Okay, so we'll do a C note, do. So let's just hang it. Let's just hold it as long as we can. Do. Now give me 4 long. We'll just keep going, but 4 long do's, like do 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 do. So you have these long do's, but you're going do 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 do. Now do 4 short ones. Do 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 do. So you have a mix of these long notes and short notes. But now, what if we changed the melody? So let's go. We'll go do 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 do. We'll do a high one.
Too hard.
Do, okay, do 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 do, just like that. Do 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 do. Now short. Do 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 do. So now you can do a mix of slurs like do 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 do. So now instead of saying do,
2. You're going to close your mouth and act like a ventriloquist. So you're doing it out of the corner of your mouth, but still singing the same. Do it in the microphone.
I think the moral of this story is don't try this at home. Leave it up to your professionals, everyone. All right, that's enough for me. Victoria Vox, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for being here. Victoria, thank you for being here, and thank you for being such a good sport.
Thank you.
And I think they're going to probably call last call in a little bit, so if you need a beer, I would suggest going in the next couple of songs. And thank you again, everyone, for being here, and thank you, Victoria, and enjoy the show, everybody.